Hey, you guys, so let's really quickly talk about supply and demand, support and resistance. Now, I'm consistently asked, what's the difference between the two and are they the same thing? And I was just asked again earlier today in a session with a student. So I want to give you a quick rundown of the difference between the two and also their similarities and exactly when is it best to use one set versus the other set. First thing, supply is at the top. Demand is at the bottom. And with support and resistance, support is at the bottom, okay, and resistance is at the top. Support and resistance is a glass ceiling and a glass floor, all right? They could be easily broken. But with supply and demand, they are much more heavily weighted because of the way that they are, I guess I would say, calculated, or instead of calculated, mostly determined. Think about it. Support and resistance is a technical side, right? We're looking at the charts and we're looking for support and resistance. We could have 5 supports and 5 resistance because we know, or as you should know and be familiar with, is that support and resistance can be very easily broken. And as I say many times across my video, once support is broken, it becomes resistance. And once resistance is broken, it becomes support. Okay. But the thing with supply and demand is consistently balanced as the price moves over time. Now, supply is the sellers, right? That's who's selling the stock, selling the particular price point. Demand are the buyers. They're the one who's taking up the sellers on their offers. Now, when it comes to support and resistance, to support is just a price that is consistently, I guess, well, the support is just a floor cushion. It is a price that's holding up a level, that's holding up the price to say we're going to be a support to where it will not fall below. And resistance is just a ceiling to where this is a level that the price will not break above. And it's consistently rejecting and it may come back down. And when something hits a support, it may hit support, reject there, and it may run back up. But just like when support and resistance is broken and they become one or the other, in an uptrend, supply can easily become a new demand zone. Because once our old supply is broken and the price has gone up 20, 30, maybe even 40, $50, that old supply zone that we had there is now a heavy demand zone for this particular stock, and vice versa. Now, this is another thing to know about supply and demand. They aren't exact levels like support and resistance. They are zones, okay? So it could be a zone of 105 to 106 or 107, right? But with support and resistance, these are key levels, exact price points that we're looking at. Versus with supply and demand, it's more of an area, more of a zone versus these exact price points like we have with support and resistance. So supply is where the bears are waiting, the sellers who look to bring the price down. But demand is where the bulls are waiting, and who are the buyers that are looking to take the price up. When we look at support and resistance, these are just levels that we're watching to make a quick move on an entry and an exit for our option trade. So that would also tell you, hey, if I am looking to do a day trade or to scalp, I'm probably not really looking at supply and demand levels or zone. I'm looking for quick support and resistance to aid me in my entries and my exits. But if you're doing leaps, let's say this is 2025 and you're getting an option that expires in 2026, 2027, you will probably want to pay a lot of attention to where the supply and demand zones is so that you can really time your entries for the maximum move. Remember, it's more heavily weighted in the supply and demand. So this is something good to use when you are doing leap options. Now, you can still use support and resistance, but because of how frequently they move and change, they wouldn't be a massive part of planning a leap because they are technical. Supply and demand is more of an economic type thing. It's more of a fundamentals thing, which is like back end plus the charts, plus the technicals, but not fully like support and resistance. And just to close this out, and something else to kind of help you with your note, when the supply is high and the demand is low, the price will fall. But when demand is high but supply is low, the price goes up. Think about a Pokemon card. Some cards, right, that you may have that have extremely low supply. So what happens? It becomes either vintage, it becomes extremely rare, and the demand for it is extremely high. So what happens? The price increases. And this is the same way you will look at your supply and demand zones. Okay, so I hope this helped. I hope this is something for you to take when you are trying to determine if supply and demand is the same thing, as well as support and resistance and how they kind of correlate with each other. So do that what you will. Take that information to plan your next trade or your next leap, or to aid you in finding your levels. All right. So with that, I will see you guys in the next one.